Innovation is rarely a straight line to success. Elon Musk probably knows this better than anyone. At the end of the year 2008, both SpaceX and Tesla were on the verge of bankruptcy.
And we had only 2 days, maybe I think it was like 2 or 3 days maybe, to close it before Christmas. So I was like, man, this could be a really bad end of the year. Maybe both companies will fail.
In this video, I show you 3 techniques to improve your ability to persevere during difficult times. All of us probably know the feeling that something that looked promising yesterday suddenly seems like the dumbest idea in the world today. The first difference, why some people quickly abandon their idea and others persevere in the face of failure, is the purpose behind the idea. Point number 1 is have a long-term mission. Here we see internet billionaire F. Williams, co-founder of Blogger, Twitter and Medium, as he was on the verge of ruin in 2001 with his then startup Blogger.
Basically, I told the team, we're done, we can't pay you anymore, I'm going to keep working.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know you were almost like going to hang it up.
What motivated him to continue and also influenced his later companies, Twitter and Medium, was his long-term mission to democratize publishing.
It's not about blog or about blogging, it's really about the realization of this great promise of the internet, this idea that is about the democratization of knowledge, of ideas, even of influence. The idea that anybody could share their thoughts with everybody.
An ambitious, world-changing mission is also called a massive transformative purpose. Elon Musk gives the best example of a massive transformative purpose. Elon didn't start SpaceX to become the most profitable space company. He is driven by the belief that humanity must transform into a multiplanetary species to reach a new level of consciousness.
One path is we stay on Earth forever, and then there will be some eventual extinction event. The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, which I hope you would agree that is the right way to go. Yes?
SpaceX corporate goals, such as being the most cost-effective provider of rocket flights into space, or the Starlink project, which aims to provide low-cost, high-speed internet around the world, are thus only interim goals that intend to fund the long-term mission. A long-term motivating mission must meet the following criteria. It must be clearly focused, it must have a higher transformative purpose, and it must align with your own interests and passions. Another important key to prepare for difficult times is to imagine the worst. Great innovators are optimists but realists at the same time. Therefore, you should expect to fail.
I mean, I would have to be insane if I thought the odds were in my favor.
Why even begin?
When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor.
Elon Musk wasn't naive when he started a rocket company while simultaneously investing his remaining money in an electric car startup. The last successful automaker founded in the United States was Chrysler, and that was almost 100 years ago. In the early 2000s, the auto industry was not like the internet. Venture capital was bullish to invest in the next social network, not an electric car maker. Assuming failure has the advantage that you can mentally prepare for it. For example, you can ask, what is the worst thing that can happen if you fail? If you name the fear concretely, it quickly loses its power over you, especially when you compare it to the cost of not trying.
You know, I thought there was like maybe a 10% chance of success that SpaceX would work at all.
In addition, you can think of tactics and ways to minimize the risk of failure in advance, or how you will react in those critical situations. An excellent technique to prepare for failure is the so-called pre-mortem. A post-mortem is the exercise of drawing conclusions after a failed project and thinking about what to do differently in the future. The pre-mortem, on the other hand, takes place before a project has failed. Companies like Google or Stripe regularly use this technique before new product launches. In a pre-mortem, you put yourself in the future, and a facilitator tells the team that the project has failed spectacularly. Then all project participants think of reasons for the failure and write them down individually. Later, all the reasons are read out and evaluated. The last step is to think about how to minimize the risks and develop an action plan with clear responsibilities. Of course, luck also plays a role in enduring difficult times. SpaceX's first 3 launch attempts failed. In October 2008, the company had just enough money to attempt one last launch.
If it didn't work, then SpaceX would have gone bankrupt and we would not be around.
But apart from a big portion of luck at the right moment, creativity plays an important role. And this is again something that you can control. The last point is, be creative in the darkest of times. To foster your creativity, it is important to ask the right questions. These questions must expand the problem-solving space. For example, one question I first read in a Tony Robbins book is to ask, what is good about this problem? When you ask yourself this question, you often think of more possible solutions than you ever expected before. When F. Williams was on the verge of giving up Blogger in 2001, he cut all expenses, worked from home, and activated fans of Blogger by asking them if they could pay for his service.
So we did this call for donations, and we were hoping to buy like one server, and we had maybe 4. So that would have been a huge deal to get like one $4,000 server, and we got $14,000.
One of these fans was in contact with a website publishing company called Trellix. Although F. Williams was not willing to make a customer pivot and turn Blogger into an enterprise software company, he decided to license the software to Trellix for $40,000 anyway. This helped him to survive for a few more months until he began monetizing the platform with the launch of Blogger Pro in 2002. A week before Christmas 2008, Tesla and SpaceX were still on the verge of bankruptcy. Elon Musk had already invested almost all of his fortune that he earned from the sale of his first startup Zip2 and his second company, PayPal, into Tesla and SpaceX. But the money still wasn't enough. In 2008, of all years, in the midst of the great financial crisis, both companies ran out of money. Elon asked all his wealthy friends in Silicon Valley to chip in, sold his last private valuables, and invested all his remaining money to keep the day-to-day operations of Tesla and SpaceX going. Still, it was necessary for Tesla to close a major round of financing before the end of the year, as the company was already gobbling up $4 million a month at this point. Unfortunately, one of its venture capital investors refused to approve the funding round. The investor saw no future in Tesla anymore and pursued a strategy to let the company fail, to later sell off some of its assets to large established automakers. The company's only salvation was a creative trick Elon played after many unsuccessful attempts to convince the investor to let go of his blockade. Instead of doing an equity round, he structured the deal as a debt round. Since the venture capitalist could not participate in a debt round, he could therefore no longer block the financing round. On December 23rd, SpaceX learned that they had been selected by NASA as a supplier for the ISS. The deal included 12 flights to the space station and was worth $1.6 billion. Just one day later, on Christmas Eve, Tesla's funding round was finally confirmed by all participating investors.
Tesla almost went bankrupt. We closed our financing round 6 p.m. Christmas Eve 2008. It was the last hour of the last day that it was possible. We would have gone bankrupt 2 days after Christmas otherwise.
If you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, be prepared for tough times to come. But trust that you can turn the tide. The key is in your creativity. You can learn how to train your creativity on a daily basis in this video. Just click here. And to learn more about the psychology of innovation, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. If you liked this video, please write a comment or click the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.